Okay, I just want to do a quick video on how to fill out the Seamless Summer site renewal for non-school sites, because it's a little bit tricky because you're basically filling this form out like this is a school on the National School Lunch Program, even though it's really just a Seamless Summer only site. And so there are a few business rules that keep sites from being approved if there's not a certain amount of data entered in, which can be a little bit tricky for your first year. So we'll just go through the site information sheet really quick and explain the areas that you'll need to fill out. So first, you need to just put in the address for the site, and then come down to line 12 here on campus type, and you just put open campus. And then the classification of site, select Seamless Summer only. And then if you have more than one physical location claiming at the site, yes or no. And then you can kind of jump down and just put in the site contact's phone number and the whether or not the site administration is the legal entity of the sponsor or not. Depending on if it's a park site or not, it may not be a legal entity of the school, and so you might want to not select legal entity if it's not really one of your locations. The type of food service is going to be in most cases, a satellite kitchen or central kitchen. And then you can come down and then go to the grade served at the site. On this particular example, it looks like they selected a bunch of different grades, but really for the Seamless Summer, you can just select ungraded because you're just kind of serving whoever comes there. It's not really a graded site per se, which is okay. And then your attendance factor needs to be set at 100% or your claim will error out. And so, and then for the site eligibility information for these meals served, it's kind of trying to do a check for the severe need breakfast or severe need lunch. And so you can use prior summer information if you have that and put that in here just in the free column. Shouldn't have anything in paid or reduced since all meals served in the summer program are free at those particular sites. Okay, and then we're going to scroll down. For right now, you can kind of ignore this area eligibility section because we're going to fill that in the Seamless Summer section of the site information sheet. So let's scroll down here to line number 89, and that's where the Seamless Summer option application section starts here. So you're going to want to click that you're participating in the Seamless Summer option, and then the months that you're going to participate. Now this part's really tricky because because this is on the National School Lunch Program, the year ends at the end of June and then starts in July. And so really what you want to select for program year 18 is just, maybe May if you're serving in May and June. You actually want to leave July and August blank for now. And then when we open up program year 2019 and ask you to go in and do all of your sites for the upcoming school year, then on those ones you're going to check July and August. Okay, so this July and August is really referring back to last year, and so you don't want those checked. You want these probably 2 or at least June over here checked. Now, if you're only operating in July and August, we can talk about how to get that approved, or we can wait and basically approve that when we're a little bit further into the summer. If you run into that situation, just give me a call and we can talk that through. So site location type, whether it's a school or park, mobile library, whatever you want there, just fill that in. Your type of sites, most of them are open. You could have a closed enroll program, but for the majority of you, you're probably just doing an open site there. And then your area eligibility, you're going to do, if you're using school data, then you'll just select school data and then October survey or other month, and then the percentage. So once you put in the school number here, so the first 2 digits are the district number, and then you'll have the site number after that. Once you put that in, you can scroll down and submit the form, even though you're not done with it, and then go back in and revise it, and it will actually pull this eligibility information for that site for you. Or you can just look on the October survey and pull that in if that's the data you're using. If you're using other month data, then you'll need to submit that to me just so I can see that that's from the last operating day of that other month that you're using. So once you get the school information filled in, now for this example, it's Centennial Park. And so that park is in the enrollment boundaries of Valley Crest Elementary. Well, in order to renew that for this year using this most recent eligibility information, so it's good for the next 5 years, I need a boundary map. And so I'll send a file along with this, an example of a little form you can fill out where you put in this basic information, and then you'll include the boundary map with the site location indicated showing that it's in the boundaries of that qualifying school. If you're using census, you can go to the USDA's capacity builder and pull a screenshot off of that and submit that as well, just kind of for your offsite stuff for these non-school sites. And if you need help figuring out how to do that or where to go, just give me a call and I can walk you through that. And the same thing with census averaging. There's a website where you can go to see if your site qualifies based on census averaging, and I'm happy to help you through that. But I think the vast majority of you are probably just using school data and the October survey information, the most recent October survey information. Okay, if you're using prior year October survey, like the school, like this, in this case, say Valley Crest Elementary no longer qualifies. It's only 48%, but it qualified previous, and you're just in your 5-year carryover. What you'll do is you'll need to select special eligibility certification and just type, using prior year eligibility for Valley Crest, and then you just will put that information in there. Most of you aren't doing closed enrolled or migrant sites, so I'll skip over that for now. Once your site gets approved, and I'll show you at the bottom where I put in the eligibility information, you can see right here when your site is set to expire. So if your site doesn't qualify anymore, you can kind of look here and see, hey, when is that going to expire? Once you do this for the first time, you'll kind of have that ongoing for the next couple of years. All right, so let's scroll down here and look at your program's start and end date. Even though we only check the months up above just for this program year, just to make things easy for advertisement and tracking purposes, we're asking you to put your entire operating range in here. So it's okay that starts in basically June and will extend all the way through August. We want the full operating dates in there. And then if your school is a year-round school, you could select that year there. But I mean, these are non-school sites, so that probably shouldn't matter for you. And then your first public media release, this is just when you anticipate sending that out. So it's okay if it's a future date. Then indicate if there's a la carte, and if you're a la carte's milk only, select the meal types that you plan on doing. And then if you're planning on using offer versus serve, the number of points of service you plan on, and then your beginning and end time. And then you'll check basically the days of the week here that you plan on serving. And then you'll fill in your capacity or your site cap. So the site cap is a little bit tricky. It's basically the maximum number of kids that you believe that you have the staff to be able to serve. And so you don't want to have this be a way overblown number, just way higher than anything you've ever done in the past. So you may look at last year and see, hey, what's the highest number we served last year? And do we anticipate serving any more than that this upcoming year? Do we have the ability to do so? It's important to remember for this cap, you cannot serve beyond that cap. That is, if it's 300 and one day you serve 305, if you haven't upped your cap and had that approved by us, those 5 meals would be non-reimbursable. So you want to be careful about this cap, and you want to make sure you're monitoring it throughout the summer. And if you need to increase it, you can shoot me an email. You want to revise it here in CNPweb, and then send me an email so I can get that approved for you. So you shouldn't have the same cap as you do average daily attendance. There should be a difference here for the most part for any kind of park site. So average daily attendance, if this site has operated in the past, you can put that in there. If it hasn't, and this is its first year of operation, how many do you think that you're going to serve? You just kind of ballpark that in there, and that's okay. And then where you're planning on advertising it, you can check all of these boxes or just a couple of the boxes, whatever's applicable there. and the same goes for on 111 here. You can check them all or just the ones that you plan on using. If you're hosting any events, we'd like to know about that, so if you'll check that, and then list the events and describe them. And then if you have any other organizations that are operating at that site for you, we need to know that. So the single age grade grouping, most folks at park sites especially want to use a single age grade grouping for the National School Lunch Meal Pattern and not have to change portion sizes as kids move through the line. And so they request this exception. If you would like that exception, you'll check here. And then we kind of have this justification here kind of built in for you. You can kind of see this here. If this is your justification, then all you got to do is check that box. If you have some other reason besides this you want to do that, then you would just type that justification in box 117 here. And we can look at that justification and see if that works. And then we really need to know, okay, well, so if you want to use a single age grade grouping, how did you pick which age grade grouping you would use? And the majority of the time it's going to be based on who you anticipate coming. So hey, I'm going to pick the K through 5 because we really only get little kids at this site. Or, you know, we get some little kids and some bigger kids, so we feel like the K through 8 is the best age grade group to use based on the prior year participation. So that's something that you could look at, and you want to type in a good explanation there on how you do that. Okay, that's kind of the end of the normal Seamless Summer section, and then you're going to get into kind of back to the National School Lunch Program information, which is how many food safety inspections that particular site had in the program year, so during the school year. So for the most part, these park sites and stuff like that are going to be 0. It's your school sites that are going to have, you know, 1 or 2 or more. And then the collection and meal count method, you'll need to put something in here. Most people are just using a checkoff sheet or just like, you know, tick mark. So you would select that. You could be using a point of service, I suppose, but most people aren't. So I think it's probably that one for you. And then you can kind of scroll on down here to line 125. And then you really should have this be non-pricing, is that, you know, since all the meals are free. And then your point of service is typically always done at the end of the line. If for some reason you wanted some type of an exception, theoretically that's possible, but it's unlikely. For the summer, I haven't seen that a lot. So probably end of line there, and then you can go down and whether or not you plan on doing second meals. And so, and then making sure that those second meals aren't counted, because remember in the Seamless Summer option, second meals are not reimbursed like they are in the regular summer program for lunches and suppers. There is a provision for counting second breakfasts. So if you plan on doing that, then contact our office and we can talk a little bit more about how that works. And then you can kind of see this is the section that I use, this internal use only section, where I'll put in your eligibility dates that you'll be able to then see up above once we get that approved for you. All right, so make sure you click submit at the very bottom of the form, and so it saves all your data. And then you'll just email me once you have all of those in. If you have any sites in your site list that are not showing up because maybe you want a new site added, you just need to let me know and I'll go ahead and add those new sites in for you so you can see it in your list. Okay, well that's it for this. If you have any questions, just give me a call. Thanks so much.